So we are here at Doe Mountain in Mountain City, Tennessee, and we are gonna hit the trails with a group of us. Again, I am definitely out of my element because these trails are way too hard for me, but I did them last week, so I guess we'll do it again. They have like the whole setup of Mountain Dew took over the mountain. This is the last day of it though, so you get to ride for free. They have like taste test things. They have the whole outpost all decorated in Mountain Dew, which I'll show you a video of that in a little bit. But here are all of our bikes that are riding with us. So there's mine. Yay. The prettiest, the best. Love my bike. And so I definitely am taking my GoPro. I didn't take my GoPro last week. I didn't really think about it, getting it charged and things. But yeah, so I'll take you along.
Yeah, but you have to pick a dang time, so.
You gotta pick a time to do it.
Of course, there's not as many people, so it may not be as bad this weekend. It was slammed.
They're rolling out like 6 or 8 new Mountain Dew flavors. You gotta put down time.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Hey guys, how
Hi
are you?
there.
Really good, we're having fun.
Look, you get the free choice
Oh yes, we got all
of
the
your
delicious
drink,
flavors
and
right here.
Mountain Dew has paid for everything, and I get to ride for free, which is awesome. Look at that, all fancy. Love
See, there's
it.
only 750 made of these, limited edition. This is one of the prizes of the scavenger hunt that we have going on right here.
Awesome, awesome, cool.
I was built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past and follow what we're achieving. Got my foot on the gas, never stop coming in. And break like glass, now this life's coming in.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy. Think that
So this was the first trail that we hit. I want to say maybe this is like M0, but I don't remember. The trails are they're kind of confusing for me because the maps are upside down. You'll see if you ever go to Doe Mountain, it just got confusing, and they're not rated. Like they all just say very hard, and I guess that's true. They are all very hard. But this was right at the end of where you go through the power lines, like from the parking lot. This is the first trail that you come to there. And when you keep going through this trail, you'll see at the end, you come out at a little playground. And last week when we went, Storm and Kenneth, they did a lot of playing around at the playground. This time, they just did a couple things, and I might add those other videos in, maybe in another video. But as you can see, this is, it's pretty tight through here. The trail flows well. It has a lot of roots and a lot of things to get over. I got stuck right there, and so I had to get unstuck, but the guy behind me did too, so in my favor. It wasn't just me. He got stuck. I let them go around though as we were going because I felt like I just wanted to be behind and not have to worry about people pushing me, because this definitely is, like I said at the beginning, out of my element. I did seem to go a lot better than I anticipated. This is all single track, and even though the video doesn't really show it, it is a lot of off camber, a lot of uphills with roots, and then downhills, although the downhills weren't like straight down, they were just kind of sloping back and forth, but a lot of straight through. And see, we went straight across the road and then hit the next part of the trail as we went through. And Kenneth was so good, like he let the other guys go ahead because we have seen us, so that we can talk back and forth. Although I'm not sure once I'm doing this voiceover if you'll be able to hear it. He said he had to keep turning his volume down because of all my breathing, because, well, first of all, I'm dealing with that. That's an issue that I'm having right now, I guess, since COVID. Also, interrupt myself. there's a tree right here that we could have went over, but you can see it's kind of a side angle. So we went up the trail and went around, but then when we went around, you still had to go across the tree. It's just a different angle. So you still had to go across another tree down here. But for me, it was a better angle, but I kind of glumped over it. But anyway, what I was saying is, ever since I had COVID, which my COVID was not even bad. Like, if I hadn't lost my sense of smell or taste, I honestly would not have even known that I had COVID. Like, no breathing problems, not really a bad cough or anything. However, ever since I've had that, when I exert myself, like in racing or in like dirt bikes or even working out, my heart rate goes through the roof. Like, it is astronomical. In an hour race, my heart rate will be in zone 5 for 40 minutes of that hour, or in an hour of my race. So Kenneth said he could just hear me breathing. Here we just crossed the road again to go up the trail. He waited to make sure my navigational skills didn't get the best of me. Navigational skills as of being none. But when I work out and when I do anything, my heart rate is so high, so then my breathing is really heavy, and I feel like I'm dying. And so he said he could hear me like the whole time, and I'm sorry. That's all I can say. I'm sorry. But he was very good about sticking back with me, so that, because the Cenas, like, if they get within a mile or, you know, less than a mile in these thick woods, they lose transmission to each other. So he stayed so that he could hear me if I had any trouble, which I do. You'll see. There's a couple places, but in my defense, the places that I had trouble, the other guys had trouble too. So it wasn't just me. It's just this single track is definitely above my riding skill, although I'm doing it, and I was pretty pleased with the fact that I was doing it, and did it 2 weekends in a row. The first weekend we rode this trail, but we rode it second. We went out of the parking lot and hit this straight up one, like it literally goes straight up with roots and rocks, and then you have all these switchbacks, like hard switchbacks, and Kenneth was really surprised that I did it as well as I did, and didn't really have the trouble that he thought I would, because he didn't intend on taking me on that trail. It was our first time being there in about 2 years, so he didn't really know what trail it was, and when we got on it, he was like, this is a lot harder than I anticipated. But I was a champion, rode my best and tried to do it. He didn't have to help me too much on it, though. It wasn't bad. I just wasn't riding as fast as I am here. Not that this is fast, it's just fast for me. So yeah, we rode this trail, like I said, comes out at the playground, and so we rode this one, and then we rode down the road a little bit more, and once we got down the road, we took another trail that you have like a huge log crossing on. But those are the only 2 trails that we rode before lunch, because we had a taste testing, which I have at the end of this video, for the Mountain Dew, the new Mountain Dews that they have out. So we had to be back to do that. And so as we go, there's like a couple places where, like, we found some go-arounds of some really bad routes. Like, Kenneth was like, if you go this way, you can avoid them. Places that I got stuck the time that we rode before. But for the most part, the trail does flow very well. It's just like, you can tell this is very off camber, because if it shows it off camber in the GoPro, then you know in real life that it is. And so definitely out of my element. And Kenneth was very proud of me, which doesn't doesn't happen a lot. Not that he's not proud of me, he just doesn't tell me very often. So the fact that he told me over and over how proud he was that I wrote all this tells me that he really was proud of me.
That it was meant to be, living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quite so thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic, with this logic you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want it, yeah.
Don't try to drain my energy, the enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me, I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this, freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus, living in a crisis. Do you?
So Kenneth yelled at me. You probably heard me say, I'm already up here. He yelled at me and said, don't come up the hill yet, but I was already in motion. And so the guys that were riding with us got stuck on the roots that are right up there. And so then when I got there, it was so steep, I couldn't hold my bike up. I dropped my bike over. Kenneth dropped his bike over. So then he just took mine to this little, it's not really level, but it's a little bit more level than where we were. And so I told him, I said, it'll probably go because my bike is like a tractor with that 300 and the Recluse. But he said, oh, well, I'm just going to get it down here. And then Storm, my stepson, was helping his buddy get his bike up, and then he decided to come down and ride his dad's bike up. So he rode his dad's bike. Kenneth was already on my bike, so then he just, Storm is giving his buddies a hard time. He said, I told you you'd have to wait on them. They're really good riders though, but he's just giving them a hard time. But anyway, so Storm decided to just go ahead and ride his dad's bike up, which he made it look a lot harder because he had it in first and it was like all over the place. And then Kenneth was like, I'll just ride yours up so you won't have to worry about it and not get stuck. Then, of course, I had to walk up the hill, which is almost worse because like I'm out of breath. And so you can see like what they got stuck on those root systems. They just like turned your bike this way and that way. So we walked up here and they were tired from trying to get through there. So we waited for just a little bit, but I kind of fast forwarded all that while we were sitting here to get us started again.
Feel courageous, do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it, go on and take your aim.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
fight and misbehave. Had to find a way to change, had to leave to find my way. Caught up in a daydream, I beat my mind up there almost daily. It's how I pass time, no opinions safely. It's how I understand what I want in this place, see. Cause everybody wanna tell you bad things, what could go wrong, what fame brings. But success is a finicky thing, and if you ain't sure, no, it'll never be. And I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. And I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. Run away, I don't have to plan it. I can go, change my fate, you won't understand it. All alone, that's okay, people I can't stand them. They don't want me to change, keep me where I'm standing. And I don't wanna be where I am, and I want something more, take a chance. It could be possibly my last dance, my last dance. And I don't wanna let myself down, myself down. I don't wanna let myself down, myself down.
After we got stuck on that hill, Kenneth was saying to me, oh, here's the log crossing, one of them that I was pretty proud of, because that was a pretty big log. I know it doesn't really look like that in the picture or in the video. But after we got stuck on that hill, Kenneth was saying how it was probably good that, like, I had a little breather and I was able to catch my breath and calm down and get my heart rate down. But I told him it was actually worse whenever that I stop and somebody's having trouble somewhere, because in my mind I think, well, if they're having trouble, then I am certainly going to have trouble. And that's the thing, whenever that I ride, most of the time I'm riding with like really good riders who don't have a lot of trouble. So then I don't have to worry about that. It's just my trouble that everybody's worried about. So this was a really steep, rooty section. I just had to keep giving it gas and dig in. And plus, you couldn't hold your foot on the pedals because of how it was. So I could just put one pedal on, and I kept like slipping back on the seat when I was trying to go. And it was just being disastrous, and it wasn't having good luck with it. But when we just kept going, this was the go around, one of those go arounds that I was telling you. Last week I got stuck in that route. Kenneth had a little bit of trouble in that route. But this week he was like, well, even last week we found that go around of like just curve just a little bit around that tree to avoid the roots and not get stuck in them. So we come to the road again, and when we pass across the road, you'll see we have to go up but then curve over a little, because those roots were so bad and they curve around. And so just by going over just a little bit, we avoided those altogether, which was good. So this is the last little part of the trail before we get to the playground section. And last week, whenever that we rode, they weren't really sure if I could do this section because we didn't know what it entailed. It just, like I said, they're not really marked. They just say very difficult, and they are. But this just had more roots. It really wasn't much different than the other trails, it's just because we'd never been on them, we weren't really sure. And so they just took me off on an adventure anyway.
Searching for greatness in a sea of the dying and shameless, a sea of the aimless. I don't wanna be one of the nameless. I'ma wake up with the mindset that one day I'm gonna make it. And I don't think I'll be fine if I don't break my limitations. Don't try to stop me, I exist to write my own story. I'll make a decision if I want some peace or if I want the glory. Yeah, don't want a life that is complacent or possibly boring. I just want a life that is worth every day exploring.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me. My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, yeah,
This road crossing is a little bit awkward. You can't really tell it on the video, but there were like all these rocks that were across the road, and it made it a little bit precarious to get across there the first time. Now, once I did it a couple times, it didn't seem so scary, but I know the first time we went across it last week, I was very nervous to go across it.
This is a statement to appreciate all that is vacant. It's just for the taking. If you make up your mind, you can take it. I'm never complacent. I would work in a mansion or basement, yeah. There's no replacement for persistence, it's a patience, yeah. In this life, I wanna be soaring, to feel sun inside when it's pouring. And I'll fight till anxiety is foreign. I'm so sick of my mind's extortion.
My whole life I just wanted someone who would notice me.
So the hill that I'm coming up on, it has a lot of roots, and Kenneth had told me to go one direction, and I was already in motion to go the other direction, and I literally just panicked and dropped my bike over. It wasn't even like I wrecked or had any trouble. It was like the dumbest thing. But I mean, he was trying to help, and it didn't help me this time because, like I said, I just panicked, and I was able to get my own bike back up, even on that hill. It doesn't look that steep on the video, of course, but he just told me to go to the outside, and I wouldn't have had to deal with the roots, but I didn't have any trouble anyway.
My whole life I just wanted to be somebody to be. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, 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 I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great. Yeah, I just wanna be great.
So this is the playground section that I was talking about. Kenneth went across this log. He did it several times last week, and even went up on that second crossing there, and then several times Storm jumped the big hill, and I got some pretty good videos from that, so like I said, I might put that in another video. But this is the next trail that we're going to. We had to go down the road a little ways, and then there's a trail that turns to the right, and Storm and all of the other guys turned a little bit earlier, Kenneth took me on down, literally, like you could see the trail that we went on from the first turn, but the hill they went down was like straight down, and we took exactly the same trail. You'll see. You can't really see where they go, but they go straight down right there. And it's very, very steep. In fact, the guy that was with them was like, oh my gosh, that was so steep. I should have followed y'all. But we took this trail right here, and it really just swoops around. And we met the same, we went the same place. It just swooped around. But at the end of this little section right here, there's a huge tree that is across the trail. Like, when we got to it the first time last week, we thought we were going to have to turn around, but Storm and Kenneth and Brandon all took their own bike around. Well, Brandon isn't with us here, but I'm saying Storm has his two buddies today, and they were able to get their bike over themselves, and Kenneth took mine over and jumped it. Last week when he jumped my bike, oh my gosh, it was crazy. He jumped, launched my bike. You can't really see it very well in the video, but right up there where all that movement is where the log is. And when Kenneth jumps my bike, I go around the other side, so you'll be able to see what we had to get over. But last week when he jumped my bike, he launched it, like flipped over and launched into the trees. And like I said, I didn't have my GoPro then, so no video of that. One of Storm's buddies goes right over. The second one gets stuck like a teeter-totter on the tree. And so with him on it, they were trying to get him off and finally got him over. So there's Kenneth jumping his bike. And then, like I said, I walked over so that you could see from the front angle. And there's the log. Definitely better this week than last week.
Walk up, snap your fingers, and you're on the other side. Yeah, a little edit. Yeah. I made it.
Much better that time.
I wasn't as high as last time on her store. I seen her to the moon last time. I realized.
So most of this trail was actually my favorite. Kenneth was picking on me, I thought I was going to have to go across those log crossings, but there was like a ditch to go through. But this actually flowed really well, most of it. I think I was just deceiving because you did have to get through where that log was. So then a lot of people probably haven't been on this trail because you'd have to be able to get over those logs to be able to get through. But it did flow much better than some of the other sections, and we could move a little bit faster, and it didn't have as many ups and downs and switchbacks and those kind of things. It was just a pretty flowy single track comparatively to the other sections that we had ridden.
Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Rest.
So up this hill, there's like a turn and there's some roots. So everybody's kind of waiting for the next person to get up through there just to make sure that nobody gets stuck, so that we don't have the same issues that we had the last hill. Of course, I didn't wait on Kenneth. He just told me to come on, that he would be fine. But as we went up, Kenneth was telling me things in my Cena to kind of help me as he was going, like which direction to go around or how I should hug the tree. There is like one section up here that I kind of get stuck on. I'm not sure. Yeah, right here. But last week when I was on that section, I got stuck at the bottom of it, and when I was trying to go, I stuck my foot out. Well, the sand or the dirt is so soft that like my foot just fell through the dirt, and my whole bike just fell over. But you can see like I was prepared for it, and I went up, gave it a little bit more gas this time, and was able to get up it without any trouble, like I did last time. And so it was helpful that Kenneth reminds me of sections, because I forget that, oh, this is what you did before, this is where you did this. I just zone out and like I'm panicked the whole time.
Business to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack. And sometimes you just gotta believe there's something that'll give you relief. There's something that'll have what you need, what you need. We're broken, it's tragic. We're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic.
So here's another route section that's coming up, and I just didn't give it quite enough gas. I didn't take a good line, and my back tire and my front tire got wedged between two roots. So Kenneth, bless his heart, he had to come and rescue me again. And so he come down, and he didn't have to do anything with my bike. Like I was able to get it almost out. I just couldn't quite give it enough gas and get it over and keep my footing. So he pulled on the front and finally got me out after I got wedged up from the back. So you'll see, like he pulls a little bit, and then I was able to keep going without him having to take the bike from me this time. Thank goodness.
Believe you could have it, and I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness.
wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name. Check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain. I ingest, I retain, assess and I change. Possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints. Money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy, all I got is working. Never stop searching, never quench the thirsty. I'm toxic and psychotic with this logic, you can't stop it. It's been chronic since I was a boy, so neurotic and chaotic.
I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want it, yeah.
Don't try to drain my energy, the enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease. But I won't let it get to me, I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this, freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus, living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it, go on and take your aim, yeah.
I'm built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
And of course, here's another route section that I get stuck on. I should have went to the outside. You can see there's a little bit of a line there, but at the bottom there's actually a lot of roots there too that kind of drove me in to where I'm at. And you can see I kind of turned around looking at what maybe I should have done. So Kenneth comes, he tries to move my bike over so I can go and pull on my bike so that I can get up. But then once I get past this tree, I kind of run out of leg. You can see how the tree is catching my handlebar, and he pulls it over to get me around. But then as I go, I end up falling over and dumping the bike. Not bad. I mean, I just dumped it over, and then he just got on it and rode it after he had to pick the bike up. So I'm just laying there like thumbs up. But he picked it up and then we were off again, so no big deal.
Gotta focus on yourself, on your faith, on your dreams, on your mind, on your health, yeah. You gotta work, never tell, keep your head down, find what you love and excel, yeah. Push and pull and repel any hate, go create what you want, feel compelled, yeah. And once you finally get a taste of the race, you'll never look back once you felt that. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth, just focus on yourself first.
think about others way before myself.
So we're getting ready to come up on a section that you hear me. Oh no, I fall over. But the bad thing is I'm wedged under my bike. Like my bike is completely on my foot. Like it is so painful and I can't get up because where I'm at, I'm like down a hill. You can see Kenneth. I put this in fast motion. He really wasn't moving that fast, but he did run up the hill because he had pulled down. But last week I had wrecked, well, I didn't wreck in that section, but I got wedged around the tree. It's just a really weird place because there's a stump, there's a tree, and you're off camber coming down to it, and then the root. And so I got wedged between the tree and the root, or the tree and the stump, and I couldn't get through. So he warned me, and I panicked, of course, and ended up hitting the stump and dumping my whole bike over. And then, like, it was just a big mess, and he had to come rescue me for like the millionth time of the day.
Oh damn, wasting time on your dreams instead of mine. Yeah, about to turn this franchise around on a dime, man. It's all about finding your right state of mind. It's all about turning the worst into fine. It's all about time and the work and the climb. From the thirst we will rise, I'm immersed in this life. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth. Just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth. Just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth. Just focus on yourself first. Don't let somebody take your time and your worth. Just focus on yourself first.
I got the cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star in this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, doing no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad.
I just wanna stay bad, stay mad. Chip on my shoulder cause they treat me like an outcast. I ain't gonna take that, stay back. I'll be swinging hard till the hits come in all caps. I ain't gonna lay back, pray that someone's gonna help me. Ain't nobody like that. I ain't gonna wait, that's all fact. Give me one shot and I'll never get the throne back. I'm sick of being cautious. I'ma go cause something, can't stop this. I'ma steal everybody's lane, call it shoplift. Sick of hearing everyone complain when they thoughtless. Taste the pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me go change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's insane, we all live for fame, yeah. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Born a rock star.
When we get to this next section, Kenneth's motioning for me to go on the outside around that because he had already been in that ditch and there was like lots of roots, and I was able to avoid him and just climb right up through there, which was great. This is another section that because it hit your pegs, it was hard to keep your feet on the pegs, or both of them, so you kind of had to put one foot on the peg and then the other foot so that you could keep some weight and momentum going up the hill on your seat.
In this life, gonna live it up on the attack. Baby, I'm bad, I just wanna get caught up in this life. I'm crazy, I'm mad, do it no cap. Only God wants you, better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed. Baby, I'm bad, baby, I'm bad.
another hill that Kenneth told me to go to the outside, but I didn't. I went to the inside, and I really didn't have any trouble. But whenever that he told me that I took the wrong line, then I hit the side, ended up hitting that tree. I don't know. I think by this time of the day, my brain was just shut down. And so I ended up wrecking my bike on the side. Or really, I call these get-offs. I just kind of got off my bike right there on the hill. And so I'm making some really crazy noises, telling him, because I'm breathing very hard at this point, and I'm telling him that I wasn't having any trouble. But obviously, I still wrecked the bike. So he didn't have to come help me. I was able to get it. But then once I got back on it, I was so, like, I didn't have any footing whatsoever. So I couldn't hold my brake, my foot brake. I couldn't hold it to get the bike started so that it wouldn't roll down the hill. So I'm going, oh no, oh no, oh no. And he gets to hear all of this in his wonderful Cena while we're riding. But here I am, off again, finally. And he's probably huffing and rolling his eyes at this point.
Live it up on the attack, baby I'm bad. I just wanna get caught up in this life, I'm crazy, I'm mad. Do it no cap, only got one, so you better go live it up. Cash in the bag, stadium packed, baby I'm bad, baby I'm bad.
So this is a downhill log cross, and at this point of the day, I'm really tired, or this point of the ride, I'm really tired, and even though this is a much better angle, and I should be able to go over this log with no problem, but once I watch Kenneth and he looks like he is just having a terrible time, I absolutely was like, I cannot go across this log like this, I'm gonna die. So I had Kenneth do it, but even you can see, like, he has long legs, and even he was kind of losing his footing and slipping on it. So I probably would have definitely dropped the bike, and he would have had to help me anyway. So once again, my knight in shining armor had to come to my rescue.
I wanna be the best in the game, invest in my name, check no restraints, I'm obsessed with the pain.
So this is the end of that trail. The first of the trail definitely was better than the last part of the trail. The last part had a lot of roots, and it was very, very long roots that I got stuck on in hills. But this is the road that brings us back to the parking lot so that we can do our taste testing and eat some lunch.
I ingest, I retain, assess and I change, possessed by the thought I'll be free one day from society's restraints, money, clout and fame, mud, disease, a plague. We all love to hate, have to play the game, have to make a name. All our insecurities are on display. This is war with the enemy, think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease is on every screen. I won't let them fester me, I know most are festering. Negativity is a plague for the mentally weak. No mercy,
life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah. I've been doing this, I'm on it. I just wanna be iconic. Sipping on a gin and tonic, got me going off when I'm on this topic, yeah. If I ever play, I want it. You know that I'm always honest. Stay away from those who are toxic. Keep them out your face, no way, you don't want them, yeah.
Don't try to drain my energy. The enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily spreading like a rare disease, but I won't let it get to me. I don't need your therapy. I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this. Freedom is priceless. Spread just like a virus. Living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek greatness? Trust me, you can take it. Go on and take your aim. Yeah.
Built to last with the webs I'm weaving. I could change the past with all I'm achieving. Got my foot on gas, never stop competing. If you break like glass, then this life's gonna eat 'em. Make mistakes real fast, then you learn how to beat 'em. If you take off the cast, you can see all the healing. If the pain's in the past, move on from the grave and put your foot on the gas. No, never stop competing, yeah.
We are on our way now to do the taste testing. So they have seven flavors, and so I will show you whenever that we get up there for the taste test of what they are, and go through this whole thing, and then you vote for which one's your favorite.
You need some water?
Alright, we're gonna do 6 on these. What's in there? Yeah, right? So we're gonna do 6 unreleased flavors of Mountain Dew. They're probably never gonna come out. However many first ones. And when you're done, take 1 cup, drop it into 2 behind you for whichever one is your favorite. And we will start with elderberry. Which is my favorite.
You're gonna take a video of it? Okay. Cool. We have to get started if you guys are ready. Sweet. Thanks for coming. This is an exclusive. So that's your favorite? These flavors have a drop.
This one's my favorite.
The elderberry?
You guys have got lots to taste them. Cool. So the first one we're gonna do is elderberry.
Alright, number 2 is going to be Summer Pop, which is cherry and blue raspberry. And that is my favorite so far. Which isn't even fair because, I mean,
It's too sweet.
you didn't have to
Not bad,
have
right?
a taste test.
You guys get like
Summer
great
Pop.
flavors.
Everybody's going to buy that.
Yeah.
And number 3 is going to be apple cinnamon, which is based off of Tennessee Stack Cake.
This one's my least
Does anybody have
favorite.
You haven't been the same ever since?
Tennessee what?
that? Stack Cake?
Wait till you get to the flavors.
Yes.
We're on the Thank you. I was just about to say something. At home.
What'd you think about that? elderberry?
Yeah, that's better.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't drink that one.
Cool. So now Summer Pop.
Now number 4, Gross
That one
Yield
is a
Nasty
blue raspberry
S'mores.
cherry flavor.
Worst one of them all. What part am I on?
I don't mind it because I'm like, it tastes like a s'mores. It really does taste like a s'mores.
Right?
Like you can taste the graham cracker. I don't want a Mountain Dew that way, but it does taste like a s'mores.
Do you guys get more blue
Now number
raspberry
5,
cherry?
the Huckleberry
Huckleberry.
is the least favorite.
Yeah.
Even though it's doing pretty well this week.
Okay. Cool. So now apple cinnamon.
Yeah, that's not. That one's not
Smells
good.
good. I can make a candle. Mountain Dew candle.
This one's my
And
favorite.
number 6 is the pickle,
Tastes just like
Do you
pickle
guys
juice.
think about
which
sugar
a
enough?
lot of people like.
Or maybe just more apple?
Most of this is apple and cinnamon.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like
That's what
pickles
you were
going
saying.
like that.
Right.
It does taste just like pickle juice, but just caffeinated. Yeah. Elderberry's my favorite, and then pickle is my second favorite.
Cool. Now let's go to the s'mores. So before you taste it,
Take 1 cup, drop it into 2, whichever one is your favorite.
You see, like take,
right? That's spot on, right?
Hopefully they'll release
put it in your favorite.
We were on the
Oh, look.
believe it or not.
Oh, pickle. That's my second. So yeah.
Can you taste the marshmallow at all?